Hey guys, it's me, MMB, Mighty Max Boxing. So I'll be doing my prediction for Devin Haney versus George Kambosos 2. This fight will be next Saturday, October 15th in Australia, for the undisputed titles that Devin Haney currently owns. I have the face cam on because this fight is significant. It is an undisputed fight. Number 1 versus number 2, arguably, in this weight class, even though I do feel Loma is above George at least, and likely above Devin as well. But for my prediction of this bout, what I think is going to happen, I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm not going to stall out. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to give you a long, detailed prediction yet. I'll tell you the final. I think Devin Haney is going to beat George easier than he did the first time around. Now, that may sound crazy. That may sound a little wild to you guys, because Devin won the first fight so wide. He won it so clearly. He outboxed George. He outfought him. Some say he took him to school. I mean, it wasn't a fight where Haney really battered George or hurt him, but he outclassed him, and he had this far superior performance and outing. What I think is going to happen this time is I feel the first 8, maybe 9 rounds. I feel throughout the entire fight, I feel there will be a little more action in the first time around. But I don't think there'll be much more action. I think Devin will be pressing the action. I think he'll be pushing George back. And I think the final 2-3 rounds, he's going to start to batter George. I think he's going to start to put a hurting on George. I don't think he's going to drop him, but I do feel he's going to win those rounds extremely wide, hurt George, push him back, hit him with bunches of punches, and dominate the final stretch of this fight. I feel after 12 rounds, it'll be 118, 110, 119, 109. Very wide victory for Devin, wider than the first time around. I feel he's going to put a emphasis on this victory. He's not going to hit and dodge, or hit and step back, or hit and hold. He's going to hit and continue to hit and batter George. I'm picking Devin Haney to win this fight by a wider unanimous decision victory. You know, I've seen some people say George might actually make this fight more competitive and lose a unanimous decision once again, or a decision once again, but it'll be a closer fight. I don't think George will make it closer. Now, there's a chance he could. It's in the realms of possibility, but I don't see him doing so. The biggest danger George Kambosos has as a fighter, and this is what made him dangerous against Teofimo Lopez, is his work ethic and the underestimation of him as a fighter. I feel Devin, there's a chance he may underestimate him after the first outing, but I feel Devin really just neutralized him. I know George came to win the rematch. I know he didn't get lazy. I know he didn't blow up in weight. Devin was just a better fighter who had a great game plan and perfectly executed it to a wide decision. What I think is going to happen this time is I feel Devin's going to box pretty well early as well. He's going to have a little more oomph on his shots and throw a little bit more shots. And I think as the fight plays on, he's going to start to push George back, completely take control, and start to batter him to a wide decision victory. This is not a rematch that anyone wanted to see, anyone was really asking for. I mean, shout out to George Kambosos. He's getting paid very well once again, so he played the system very well. Good on him for sure, but it's not a rematch that the fans want to see, and the reason for that is we all know the outcome. I mean, upset if George Kambosos was able to defeat Devin Haney. Most definitely would be a relatively big upset. The first time around for this fight, I was very conflicted because I knew Devin was the better fighter, but I knew George had it in him to pull off something crazy again. I knew George had it in him to really dig deep and fight hard, but I knew Devin Haney was the better fighter, and I picked Devin. I was going back and forth for a short period of time. I actually thought the fight might end up as a draw, but after thinking about it, I said to myself, nah, Devin's the better fighter. I got to go with my gut. And I picked Devin 8-4, 7-5. 2 judges had the fight 8-4, 1 had it 10-2, so the 7-5 card was way off. This time around, I don't think George is going to be able to make it that type of fight. What George has to do to win this fight, he has to live up to his nickname. He has to be ferocious. He has to be relentless. He has to push as hard as he can. He's going to have to come forward. He's going to have to catch Haney something big as well, because he's going to have to earn Devin's respect, similarly to how he earned Teofimo Lopez's respect. I don't think Devin Haney truly respects George Kambosos' power, as we saw the first time around, and George is going to have to make Devin respect his power and make him respect him as a fighter. I want to see him hit. I really want to see him hit Devin Haney with a big shot. I really want to see how Haney reacts, and I want to see how George reacts if he gets Haney hurt or gets him in a compromising position. Will he be able to jump on him? Will he be able to nearly finish him or land some shots of significance? I'm truly intrigued. He's going to have to be ferocious. He's going to have to dig deep. He's going to have to work on that conditioning. Not that his conditioning is not good, but to be able to win a decision against Devin Haney, and I'm not saying that's his only path to victory, but there is a way where maybe he could outwork Devin. He's in Australia, could get a close decision. He's going to have to push hard those full 12 rounds, because Devin Haney will figure George Kambosos out, as he did the first time. And the question is, will he be able to truly capitalize on it and batter Kambosos to the point where Kambosos can't win any of these swing rounds? Or will Kambosos' work ethic and his gas tank be able to make some of those rounds competitive and potentially swing in his favor in this fight. If he's not able to do that, Devin Haney will sweep the ladder of this fight and win a decision just like the last time around. However, with all this assessment, with all this analysis, I feel Devin's going to outbox George worse this time. He's going to hurt Kambosos, unlike the first time around. He's going to win a decision. Some may think he could stop George. I don't think so. Kambosos has a pretty good chin. Respect the chin. He took a lot of big shots from Teofimo Lopez. Showed a lot of heart in that fight and grit. I feel Devin, he hasn't knocked the guy out in a very long time. He hasn't stopped the guy in a very long time. I don't think he has it in him to stop George Kambosos, but he does have it in him to win a wide decision. He's a better fighter than George. He's a more proven fighter. I don't know if I should say more. I guess, yeah, he's a more proven fighter as well. He's the younger, hungrier, fresher fighter, and he's going to be able to outbox George Kambosos to decision and hopefully set up a fight against Vasyl Lomachenko after Lomachenko defeats Jermaine Ortiz. Honestly, there's a lot of fights that can be made at 135. Tragically, very few will actually get made. If a fight does get made, a fight worth of note, it will be Devin versus Loma. But I think Devin's going to move up to 140 after his victory, which is truly disappointing for us fans. Truly unfortunate. I know Devin's been having issues cutting weight for a while. That's why I was against. I never made it too public, even though I did make a couple tweets about it. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already at Mighty Max Boxing. Shameless plug. I haven't been too vocal about it, but I'm very against this rematch because Devin Haney will be like, "Oh, I've been drained for 2 years. I've been drained for 2.5 years. I have to move up now." This was probably the last opportunity as fans that we could have gotten Haney versus Loma, and we're likely not going to get that fight. Some people believe that we're going to get it. I don't think that fight's going to happen. I feel Devin's going to move up to 140, and I'm not truly sure who he'll face. I mean, I assume he's going to fight for some sort of vacant belt because I don't think he's going to fight Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor's moving up as well. He's probably going to fight one of those guys because 140 Top Rank has on lock. He may fight Jose Ramirez or someone in that range, and there's a lot of great fights to be made at 140, so we won't be missing out much when it comes to the level of opposition or entertainment value, but let's be honest, we all wanted to see Devin Haney fight Vasyl Lomachenko. We all had that intrigue. We all want to see that rivalry because the fans and the fighters, to an extent, have a rivalry that we want to see settled, that we want to see squashed, and it's unfortunate it's not going to happen. This rematch that no one wants to see is getting in the way. I mean, I don't know when's the last time. I mean, I assume it was when Fury battered Wilder in the rematch. When's the last time a fight that was such a mismatch got a rematch? Nearly right away. The first fight happened how many months ago? In May. So this fight barely 5 months after that. I apologize for my dog. I don't know why that moron had to do that. Barely 5 months later, we're getting a rematch of a fight that was a complete mismatch, a complete domination. What is wrong with these people, man? Crazy. Don't they realize that I'm filming? Like my video is priority. Anyways, they don't realize. Oh my goodness, this rematch is only 5 months later, and it kind of makes no sense that this rematch was even. I mean, I understand a rematch clause, but sometimes a rematch clause needs to get scrapped. You know, sometimes a rematch clause shouldn't matter. I know it's a contract, but there should be exceptions on the clause. This fight, when a fighter gets outboxed the way George did, where he really couldn't touch Devin, there's not much he can do different in this fight. I mean, one key to victory he could potentially use is maybe going to the body. Going to the body could definitely slow down Devin's feet, and I would recommend he does that for sure. But aside from that, what else can he do? Go to the body, press hard, come forward, throw more punches. There's a few techniques he can do, but I feel it's going to be neutralized pretty well by Devin Haney, by the better boxer. Devin's going to use that jab. He's going to use his reach, use that length, and as the fight plays on, he's going to get more comfortable. He would have won 20 rounds in a row against George Kambosos. And yes, I'm exaggerating. You could argue George won a couple rounds in the last fight, but in an exaggerating term, he's won 20 rounds in a row against George. He's going to start to say to himself, I'm way better than this guy. This guy can't touch me. He can't hurt me. He can't land anything worth of note on me. I'm going to hurt this guy. I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to batter him. What I think is going to happen, as I've said 25 times in this video, he's going to be up wide, and he's going to say, why not put an exclamation point in his performance? He's going to start to touch up George, hit him with big shot after big shot, push him back, hurt him, and win a wide decision. You guys tell me what you think. Do you think George has a shot in this fight? As I said, his main keys to victory for me is to use his physical strength, which I didn't mention yet. He is pretty physically strong. Devin Haney was on the canvas in their last fight, not due to a knockdown, but George's physical presence and how he was imposing himself and how he was coming forward strongly in certain spurts of the fight forced Haney to the canvas, not punches, but show that he's physically stronger. And I do feel he has a slight physical edge and physical advantage when it comes to physical strength. Use that physical strength, come forward, pressure, throw more punches, be relentless, fight the entire 12 rounds, and maybe could edge it out. But what I see happening, Devin uses the jab, keeps George at range, starts to beat him up as the fight goes on, and wins a wide decision. You guys tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. If you can properly predict this fight in the comment section, tell me the exact round you're picking for either fighter. I will give you a shout out in my post-fight review, and I will pin your comment for this video. The only way you can be eligible is if you tell me the exact round you're picking for whoever you're predicting. Anyways, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, all one word, Mighty Max Boxing, and follow the new Instagram boxing page at Mighty Max Boxing as well. I'll see you guys later. Peace.